Good morning and welcome to the routine weekly briefing, the Thursday edition of the forecast for Central North Carolina. I'm Barrett Smith, service hydrologist with the National Weather Service. This briefing is going to cover today, Thursday, August 10th through next Wednesday, August the 16th. There's quite a bit to talk about, so we'll jump right into it. We have a slight risk of severe weather today. We got some showers and thunderstorms moving through Central North Carolina. Currently, most of that is subsevere and not causing any problems. There's some stronger storms down near the South Carolina border that have been near severe, but to this moment, we haven't seen a lot of severe weather so far. There's been some locally moderate to heavy rainfall as well, but the showers and storms, which I'll show on radar in just a second, have been moving and not causing any problems. As those move out to the east today, though, we are expecting some additional showers and thunderstorms to develop. There's a cold front approaching from the west, and if we can get enough, maybe some clearing and scattering of the clouds, heating and instability, it's possible that those will grow to be severe as well. And so that's what the severe, the slight risk here is most associated with. Damaging winds will be the main threat, a small threat of some severe hail. And given the wind fields that we're seeing, we're not going to rule out the chance of an isolated tornado. I think that'll be a low, very low end threat, but certainly not something that we can rule out. So here's generally the latest radar is about 30 minutes ago. Again, you can see a batch of rain moving through the Piedmont, the strongest storms down south of Fayetteville near Lumberton. Again, this weather is not causing a lot of problems, and it's some welcome rainfall for many folks across the area. If you look back up to the northwest towards West Virginia, you see some showers and thunderstorms back up that way, and that's generally what we'll be contending with later on this afternoon with some stuff redeveloping. So here's what we think the radar may look like this afternoon. That's a simulated radar, not what the radar will look like, but simulated radar from the our high resolution rapid refresh. And again, you see at 2 p.m. on the top left, showers and storms departing to the east of Raleigh and Rocky Mount, and some additional development back towards the Triad and in the mountains. And so as you head towards the afternoon, mid-afternoon, 4 p.m., 6 p.m., you can see that kind of developing, expanding, perhaps even intensifying. I think this is probably as bad as the radar could look. It's really questionable still, even looking at some of our guidance, whether it'll be this bad or not. But this kind of gives you the general flavor of development back across the western Piedmont, intensifying as it moves through the Piedmont, and then eventually by this evening moving offshore. Again, with this, we think damaging winds could be the greatest potential, probably not widespread, but certainly that would be the greatest threat. We could see a little bit of hail, and an isolated tornado certainly cannot be ruled out in this environment. So that's basically what we're looking at for today. As we start to look out a little bit further in the forecast, again, cold front moving in with those storms today will kind of settle over the area tonight, tomorrow, and into Saturday. So we could see some additional showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, Friday, and into Saturday. We think Friday will be the best chance for isolated scattered thunderstorms. Those should not be necessarily severe and not as strong, but there still will be some chances for those in the afternoon tomorrow and into Saturday with a downward trend as we head towards Sunday. However, as we head through the weekend, much like last weekend, the heat and humidity will return. And so by Sunday and into Monday, we're looking at heat indices approaching 105, that heat advisory criteria that we have by Sunday. So it's much like, again, last weekend, not as much chance of rainfall, but the heat and humidity will be returning. And then as we head towards the early part of next week, we see a decent cold front actually moving into the region early in the week, and maybe followed by a modest high pressure that won't necessarily cool us down, but should dry us out and maybe give us a little period where we won't see much rainfall at all. So again, that's the forecast as we head towards next week. Take a look at the severe thunderstorm chances. Again, the top left showing that slight risk for today, general thunder tomorrow and Saturday, and then you can see a clean map as we head towards early and the middle of next week. Rainfall has been this morning. We've seen some totals of 1/2 inch to 1 inch, maybe some isolated higher amounts, but that's generally been the flavor. and that'll probably be what we get with any additional showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. And then we look towards Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can see a bit more white on the map there. Those isolated showers and storms likely not to cause a lot of rainfall for many folks. And so your 5-day totals are mostly dominated by the rainfall today, anywhere from ½ an inch to an inch, with some isolated areas getting maybe up to an 1.5 inches or so. With that, we're not expecting any widespread excessive rainfall through the middle of next week. So no flooding issues outside of something very isolated today. Out beyond the middle of next week, all right, the 14-day outlook continues to show a tilt towards above normal temperatures. I mentioned high pressure moving in behind a cold front. It's not really going to cool us off. But if you look at the 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook, it's, we've seen a lot of green on this map, I think, for the last few weeks with, some small probabilities of above normal rainfall. This is a bit more of a normal focused outlook. And so we're thinking that as we get towards the middle of next week and headed to the next weekend, we're not looking at any big events to give us a lot of rainfall. I'll mention real quickly this morning the drought update, the drought monitor, which comes out every Thursday. This has kind of been the flavor for the past several weeks, some areas of abnormally dry conditions. There is no drought on this map, but abnormally dry conditions. There's been an area down in the southern Piedmont that continues to miss out on some rainfall, and they got a little bit this morning. We'll see how much they got when the totals are done. But again, there's some isolated impacts from this, but nothing significant at the moment. Out in the tropics are quiet. So, we saw a period of some activity a couple weeks ago. It's been quiet now for about a week or so, and but we are expecting activity to pick up. And with that, and this is hot off the presses, literally one of my colleagues pointed me to this about 15 minutes ago. NOAA has updated the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season outlook, now looking at about a 60% chance of above normal activity this season. If you read the previous one released back in May, I believe that was about a 30% chance of above normal. It was more favoring a near normal season. But I think with, El Nino is still something that we're looking at, which tends to suppress some of the hurricane activity. But you've probably heard in the news the record warmth in the Atlantic Ocean. And I think with that, we're expecting maybe that may dominate a little bit more or give us the chance of additional storms. Again, this says nothing about landfall. This is just the number of storms expected in the Atlantic. So we could certainly see an above normal season with, minimal landfall, or, we could see several. So this is just about the number of storms, but the probabilities of an above normal season have increased. So I want to make sure we highlighted that for everyone since it just came out. I'm sure there'll be more that come out from our office in the next day or so about this. All right, so let's wrap this up. Multiple rounds of showers and storms today. Again, a threat of severe weather across mostly central and eastern North Carolina this afternoon. And then we get a weak cold front that settles over our region. We'll see some scattered storms tomorrow, perhaps even Saturday as well. The big story for this weekend will be the return of heat and humidity. So keep that in mind with your outdoor plans, as we'll see heat indices approaching 105. And then another cold front next week, and perhaps maybe a little period of drier weather as we head towards the latter half of next week and next weekend. So with that, we'll wrap this up. I appreciate everyone joining us for our weekly briefing. And as always, if anyone needs anything, we are here 24/7 to answer any questions.